Martin. My day job, I'm Director for Quaker Council of European Affairs, so I'll just plug that they also work on climate justice and peace at the European level, and we work very closely with Rebecca as well. Today is a really important day, and I'm sure you all know what day it is. What day is it? National Poetry Day. Yes, so it's very timely that we're having this launch today. And we're launching this book, Out of Excuses. And why poetry? You know, the textile panels are amazing. Why do we need poetry as well? Well, actually, you'll notice that all the panels have a bit of writing because the panel makers were asked to write a little bit about why they chose that subject, what it meant to them, what they might do. And several of them already wrote poems. And then when people came to the exhibition, some people would write poems after they'd seen the panels at the exhibition. So it was already happening, I just helped it along a bit. And as Linda said, we had a couple of workshops. I also bent the arms of a couple of Quaker poets and asked if they'd donate a poem, which they kindly did. And yeah, it was actually the easiest thing to do. Everybody was very keen to write poems. So most of the poems in the book are inspired by panels. A couple of them were ones that people gave us and said, oh, will you choose a panel to go with it? So I did that. We don't have the panels up here as the poets speak. So how can you find out which panel they were inspired by? Well, you can buy the book.
So I'm sorry to say that Eamon Cole, our general manager, he would have been here today. He's the general manager of the Quaker company. He would have been here, but he's recently had foot surgery. He's recovering. So as you can see, I've been volunteered to welcome you all here today. I'm really pleased to do that. And Eamon does send his best wishes. And really, today is the launch of the Love in Earth project, which we've been waiting for a long time. And we really just want to say, first of all, welcome to you all. It's lovely to have you here this afternoon. I've just mentioned there the Quaker company. The Quaker company is the trading company that, if anyone's wondering, that's the company that takes care of the running of the conference side, the cafe that you've all just been in, and the hospitality, the bookshop that you've been in as well, for a friend's house. And the point of the Quaker company is the income is all gift aided back to the charity. Just thought I'd put you in the picture there in case you didn't know. So yes, I really hope that we're going to have a rewarding afternoon here. So just to mention here, I first heard about this event, I think it's just over a year ago, when I was copied in on an email. Linda was writing to explain what's involved in the Love in Earth project. It wasn't really sure when it started or what was involved. But what I understand is that from the inquiry, we were, I think at the point there was something like 400 textile panels prepared, and I think it's an incredible number, and we're really going back like over a year. So it's really good to have the event here finally taking place here at Friend's house. I only got the opportunity to study some of the work myself yesterday, and I can say that you're all in for a real treat. I'm sure you've seen some of it already. There's other speakers to follow who I think are going to be able to tell you a lot more about the work than I am, but I'll just say that there's a great deal in store for you today. And just in terms of the theme of the project, I'll mention that those of you who have visited Friend's house, I think you'll know that the Quakers their vision is to become a truly sustainable organisation.
Everybody, it's lovely to be here today, and my poem is on page 38, so I do encourage you all to buy this beautiful book, and it's about trees. I walk through a landscape of dead forests, a mortuary of trees. I cannot breathe. Sap tears mingle with my tears. I cannot breathe. Dead bark, dead skin. I cannot breathe. Photosynthesis axed, respiratory collapsed. I cannot breathe. Tree rings severed, lifelines cut. I cannot breathe. The trees have stood for hundreds of years, releasing their greatest gift, no condition attached. We are blind to this precious elixir of life. It's time to stop, protect the trees, plant for a better world for our children. Through my tears, I see a vision of tall centurion trees, a canopy of arms wrapped around our planet, protecting our world.
Hello, I'm Kathleen Bell. If you want to find my poem, it is on page something I can't read. 10, page 10 of the book. If you want to know what the words are, I will try to speak them clearly. I'm really pleased to be in this book because I don't get into books with art because I can't draw and I can't paint. I love looking at pictures. But I'm probably the only person in this room who played truant from art lessons at school because I was so bad at it. And I was punished for being so bad at needlework. So the fact I'm in this book is some kind of triumph and validation. I had written the poem before the Loving Earth project started, but I love what it's paired with, which shows little details. Because if you look at the whole world, it's a bit massive. And if you read stories about whole cities being threatened and earthquakes, it's a bit big. But if you thought you were never going to see a daisy again, that would really strike home, wouldn't it? It's the little local things. And I think that was very much in my thoughts, that and how lovely the words are, when I wrote this very short poem, which was, as you can see, first published in The Friend. And it's called Elegy for Spring. One day, when none recall how slowly leaves uncurl from buds' bright stickiness, how mist rises from soil, how suddenly a breeze ruffles the bluebell's scent. In that scarcity of birdsong, when yews parch, winds burn, fields wither to salt marsh, will you still conjure a spring from such useless words as linnet, primrose, dewfall?
Rose Anderson is not able to be here, so I'm lending my voice, one voice. Her poem is the fourth one from the beginning, and I've not got further than page 12 or page 13 with the picture. This book requires me to work hard because I know how to take a poem apart, but none of my poems have been published or survived in a book. Rose Anderson is a published poet from Leeds. She's a member of our meeting house. She's part of a group that encourages women to publish their poems, and she inspires me. I don't often see her at the meeting. She has long-term medical conditions. She can't get and sit all the time that she wants. But she inspires me to keep on being on the streets, being in nature, being with Phil and others, doing the witnessing. So I'm not going to read Protest, the sixth one from the end, but I'm going to read Talking Rubbish. Get out of the sea! You make the place untidy, said the haughty creature, drifting like an empty orange cloud. Oh, stop, you're doing my head in, replied the lonely octopus, with no one but a plastic bag to talk to.
Hi, I am Laura Shipler-Chico. I'm very honored to be asked to read this poem by Alison Locke, who couldn't be here today. It's called To the Spirit of the Wood, Green Man, Green Woman. Let the bark fall from your wrinkled cheek. Open your sleepy eyes. Lift your feet from littered floors when you feel the drub of a chainsaw's trill. They have come to let your green blood flow. You have no defense against their beat. Their reasoning is for growth, not the leafy kind, but for profit. While you are still able, collect a small branch from every tree, a sapling growth, an acorn, beechnut, chestnut, the sycamore seed. Call all creatures from the dappled wood, keep them safely in the deep of your pockets. Hold tight your cloak as the stripping lights pierce your sides. The scent of wood burn smothers your subtle scent of petrichor. Soon your load will be heavier with a pack of carbon on your back. For sustenance, you have the dust of the bared earth, while your deep cuts weep for oak, elm, ash, birch, linden, and larch. Your tears are their sap. Now you'll walk in open fields left fallow, cross scarred rock, cropped moor, your roots severed on the blade-turned earth. You'll slip on the ice of winter. The pools that never drain will rot you to the core. I beg you, please do not forget the forest. Those years of living, breathing, stretching to a canopy of sky. Remember your resilience. Before the final nails, breathe deep. Speak the old spells. Tell tales of magic. Return the fiery eye to the heart of the forest. Hold out your arms to starving birds. Whistle to the crows who cry on broken boughs. Open your pores for insects. Feel the fungi's tickle in the soil. Sing the songs of the wood. Help us regenerate.
Hello, I'm Cherry Simpkin. My poem is on page 30 and it goes with a panel of 3 polar bears, which is about the ice caps melting. I did actually start writing this poem before I knew anything about the Quaker Arts Network, but like a lot of things, it just got left in a drawer somewhere. So I was very pleased to have an opportunity to finish it and do something with it. It's called Polar Bear. White on white, she pads the dying snow, her cubs behind her, forced by hunger's call to roam for days. Why, they do not know, nor why the broken icebergs melt and fall into the sea. Careless of her plight, on distant shores, we pass our fast-paced days. The signs are clear, yet we cloud our sight. We hesitate to follow nature's ways, while earth and ice bear wait for time to cry too late.
Sylvia Clare hoped to be with us today and she did set off, but unfortunately she's had some problems and hasn't been able to get here, so I'm going to read her poem. I haven't practiced it before, so it probably won't be as good as if she'd read it, but I think she'd want it to be read. And I love this picture of this wild tree that inspires this one. Listen to the wind. Listen to the wind. Howling, wailing, proclaiming distress, pulled apart, enraged with frustration. Why are we destroying her peace, playing power games with her domain? She is blowing her mind, blowing her warnings to us, but we only hear the tempest and wait for the storm to pass. She must repeat her lament again and again until we hear the pain in her voice, the fear. Why are we destroying her world, ripping it apart, burning it down, tree upon tree, acre upon acre? She must wander wearily, with nowhere to hide, to rest, to be calm. She rages until we listen. Still, humankind closes its ears. The wind has no voice we can hear, only the wild weather. This will pass. This will blow itself out. We can rebuild, repair the damage, insured to the hilt, prevention never considered. And the wind sadly howls her anguish, knocks ever louder at our windows, trying to get our attention. I can hear her now. And now I read the poem I wrote, which is called Fish. My mother told me there were plenty more fish in the sea when I was 16 and heartbroken. Back then, the only ones I'd seen were battered and fried. But now I know it's true, because I've swum with them, violet, orange, sky blue, Patterns so particular you feel they can't survive out of water. Shapes that slice like knives then turn sinuous to curved round coral. I swim all day, burning stripes on the backs of my thighs. Each night I watch the black sea shiver with invisible life. Each morning I'm down there again, every movement a ripple of joy, every colour vibrant. I love the way they ignore me. I know now, my mother was right, but she was also wrong. So many now are gone, the coral has turned white, and on the cod banks a lone fish flicks, desperately searching for a mate.
So my poem's inspired by the panel which is around near the toilet, and the panel's based on a drawing that a friend of mine made when he was on remand in Wandsworth Prison for Insulate Britain action. And he afterwards made it into a panel for the Loving Earth project, and I recommend you have a look and see in his own words what he said. The panel's called Taking Uncomfortable Action, and he likens the uncomfortableness of taking non-violent direct action on the streets of Britain, Germany, Prague, wherever he is, he's done it in all of them, to trying to get the elephant in the room noticed. It's not going to be noticed unless people are made to feel uncomfortable and have to respond. He likens it to what it was like in Prague before 1968, when neighbours were spying on neighbours, nobody could say what they thought. And it's very much like that with the climate crisis now. It's called Truth, Hope and Love, page 54. Truth, hope and love inform. Truth, hope and love implore. Truth, hope and love impel. Truth, hope and love find meaning. Truth, hope and love give value. Truth, hope and love make roots. Truth, hope and love yield sacrifice. Truth, hope and love bring comfort. Truth, hope and love show us the way.
Hello, I'm John Lampen, and I'm sorry that a combination of COVID and train strikes prevented me being at the launch with you all. My poem is one which I wrote in the Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda, which the equator crosses. My thoughts there ran in many directions, reflecting my belief that the problems which we have caused are too large to be grasped as a whole, even through projects like the Loving Earth project. So how can we start? Only in the personal, the relationship with place, with nature, with one another. We must let our hearts show us the way to go forward. In the poem, the reference to imaginary lions is about a schoolboy joke, which some of you will know. And by the shield of heaven, I'm thinking of the ozone layer. No degrees of latitude. For Diana. I passed across the equator twice today. The sun does not change places in the sky, and on the toasted plain I do not spy imaginary lions out at play. Baboons pull faces at me. Buffalo and kudu make it clear that I intrude. They do not choose to share their latitude, and if I stay, they certainly will go. Both beast and man imagine they are free. So deep the world has cut its ancient track, azimuth, axis, orbit, zodiac, that we ignore the caging geometry. But the equations have been solved. One day our sphere will fall into the giant sun. Already, barely half that journey run, the shield of heaven starts to wear away. We seize our spoils, but nature's tired of giving. We lose our places in the dance. Instead we are disrupting with our bruising tread the complicated music of the living. Perplexed, I forfeit all sense of direction here where life crosses life, line crosses line. Only you point me true, dear compass mine, and love me forward from this intersection.
All the poets and for all those who aren't here as well. And to the pattern makers.
So that's it, folk. If you haven't already bought your copy of Out of Excuses, please do. We haven't organised any signing, but some of the poets are here, as you know, so you're welcome to ask them to sign if you want to. The other book that's out today is, I'm delighted, we didn't know whether it would be out in time, is this new book, which is called Caring for the World We Love, which Ricky Marshall Cross, who is our clerk of our steering group, has put together. It's a book designed for children. We had big discussions about what age children, and we decided it's all age children, because it's actually a really good introduction to the whole project for anybody. It's a good start, something you can use in your children's meeting at Quakers, or with other children's groups in schools or at home. Read one-to-one. Older children can read on their own. And there are links to our website where you can see all the panels and all the texts, or almost all the panels and all the texts, all the ones that people have sent us complete, because not everyone's finished their bits or sent them in. And it's got suggestions for actions you can take, and some lovely pictures. So very good Christmas presents on sale in the Quaker Bookshop now. Thank you.